Ciao, Juventini, and welcome back to the All Juve. All right, where it's all Juve all the time. If you're new here, again, everybody that's already here, we apologize for the delays, but sometimes things happen. I'm a little under the weather, and we had technical difficulties, but we're here now, and we're ready to celebrate the 2-1 victory against Sassuolo, putting Juventus in the semifinals for the Coppa Italia. Now, we are going to start off this one. I've got Omer. I've got Raph. We're ready to go. We've got a little bit of the news gathered from this morning, which is some exciting stuff too. And we're working on bringing you some extra news from Mr. Nomolo himself. So, Raph, Omer, we ready, guys?
Already.
Let's do
100%.
this. Let's do this. Coppa Italia against Sassuolo. We get our starting lineup, okay? And 4-2-3-1 is the shape that we see with McKennie making up the left side, Quadrado making up the right side, Vlahovic up top, Dybala in the hole. So we had rumors of Kyle George going in there to start this match, okay? And that didn't happen. It was very, very strange, too, because in the morning it was Romeo Agresti who said, yes, Kyle George is going to be starting. And then a little bit later, he ended up retracting his own statement saying that, no, Kyle George is not going to be starting in this one. Artur Zaccaria in the middle of the park. Sandro, Bonucci, Delict, DeCilio at the back with Perin in goal. We really emptied the clip on this thing, eh? We really emptied the clip on this one out of the gate. And I was thinking, hey, if that's the lineup, that's how you want to do it, that's fine. But get the job done quick and let's get some rotation. And that's the only thing that was on my mind. Let's start with Raph here. What was going through your mind when you see that lineup?
I wasn't happy with it simply because I wanted to see just rotation. We have Atalanta on the weekend. At the moment now, I couldn't care less if we win Coppa Italia, if we don't win it. From where we are at the moment, I just want to throw all our eggs into just getting top four. That's the most important thing for next season. So I was hoping all our best players would be rested because I didn't want to see a Vlahovic injury. I didn't want to see a Dybala injury. But since none of our big players got injured, I didn't mind the lineup. I'm not going to complain. That was my only precaution going into the match.
There you go. Omer, your thoughts when you saw that lineup?
Yeah, people don't like it, but I'm with Raph here. It's Coppa Italia. If we play our best players and someone gets injured, the Champions League money is much more important for the continuation of the rebuild we're going through right now. So that's why you have these type of matches. Quarterfinals of Coppa Italia is where you play all your subs and all your rotational guys. The formation, I thought it didn't play to some of the players' qualities and abilities. The 4-3 would have been much better. McKennie on the left, and Zakaria and Arthur in a two-man pivot. It just made it harder for them, especially when some of these guys are brand new and just learning how to operate on the pitch the way Max wants. But it is what it is. We won, so no complaints there.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at that lineup again. All I said was he wants to get it done. I have no problem with it, but get it done. Get it done quick and get some rotation in. Not so much the case. Very, very frustrating, but we'll get into all that right now as we pull up the clips. I see a good question, and it's from Antonio here, and I'm going to highlight it there, Antonio. We will get to it, so don't think that we've skipped through it, okay? I'm going to save that one for after. Let's get to the highlights. We did not have to wait very long, okay, for Dybala to strike. Very, very similar goal to the one he scored in Champions League earlier this season on the volley, coming through, smacks it, and beautifully into the back of the net. Dream start, 1-0. Let's go. Again, what was I wanting? Come out of the gate hard, hit him up, get some rotation in. But we hit him hard, and then we had to wait. And then we allowed Sassuolo to really get comfortable, do some creation, and cause some problems. Perin making a really good save here on Berardi, who absolutely smoked that. He makes another big save on this one, parrying it away. And then eventually, after the pressure, Juventus succumbed to this one. I thought the defense, it was pretty soft inside the area there, but the shot was great. So I'll give him that. It might have even deflected a bit too. But yeah, Perin can't get to it. 1-1. We go into the half, and guys, I couldn't help but feel this was just a wasted first half for Juve because we were just so pedestrian after that goal. What were your guys' thoughts after that half? Because for me, it's like we're not even close to getting these guys that we want to get more rest going into the weekend with the huge match against Atalanta. We're not even close to that right now because we're 1-1 and Sassuolo's actually playing the better ball. So, Omer, what were your thoughts at the half?
I I can't say I was pleased with what I saw, but I kind of expected that. Sassuolo are pretty similar to Verona. Their style of play is high pressure. It usually wears off in the 60th minute, which is exactly what happened. But Bonucci looked tired and not ready to play. Quadrado was all over, but doing nothing really. Sort of lost his one-on-ones, which were a big advantage for him. So I was waiting for the second half. I knew we would be better in the second half because of our deeper bench and just the way Allegri plays. That's the way he likes to do it when the other teams are tired. So I wasn't overly concerned, but there were some things that needed to be pointed out and addressed during the halftime.
Yeah. Raph, your thoughts at the half there?
Frustration.
Yeah.
We had now, I tweeted during the game, I was like, now we have Vlahovic, we've added Zakaria, who was playing yesterday. I don't see a reason as to why, especially when we come out and take a lead so early, that we have to then just sit back for another 75 minutes and hope to grind out a 1-0 win. Like, we have the players now to grab a game, to keep scoring goals, to hold possession of the ball for most of the time. I don't see a reason for us to sit back. And it's just frustrating that it took us to concede for Allegri to be like, you know what, let's stay on the front foot for the rest of the game. And it was so frustrating going into the half because we have our guys now. There's no excuse to be conceding something like 60% possession, 10 shots to Sassuolo at home. This is only in the first half. Those stats are ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we're on the same page in terms of the frustration there that was felt at the half. We needed a big second half. So, Sassuolo starts off with a change in the second half, and it was Mulder coming in for Ayan. And 58th minute, Traore ends up getting a yellow card. In the 59th, Berardi ends up leaving the game, and that was big for Juve too. Because Berardi was doing very, very well for Sassuolo. So we get to second half again. The onslaught began, and it started looking really good once Berardi left there. But Juve started to really play with sheer pressure and whatnot. And it was great. McKennie rings one off the post here. Great work slotting it over to him. Nice hit. Does everything right. Just gets the post there. This scramble, I have no words for how it didn't go in. Absolutely wild. Keeper save. De Ligt rattles it off the post, comes back out, pops just straight up. I see Bonucci kind of in that region. Bonucci was far from his level of game. But yeah, this was wild. We didn't get in. Then you have a breakaway from Morata. And it looked like he wanted to pop it over Pegolo there, and this guy turned into Superman against Juve. Unbelievable. Great stop from him. Then you have the moment, and Dybala simply waits. Vlahovic gets into the onside position. Dybala sends him up the wing. He kind of rope-a-dopes this defender here, and he slows up, and you think maybe he's just looking for the pass back. He actually turns him. He has an opportunity to go down here just outside the area, but he doesn't. He battles through, comes in, and gets fortunate with the bounce. But you know what? Fortune favors the brave. He went alone. He went it alone, and he got it, and it worked out. And there you go. 2-1 Juve. Then the substitutions come in for Juve. Let's get the heck out of here. Semifinals of the Coppa Italia. We would have wanted it ended better. We ended up getting way more minutes for players heading into that Atalanta match. But in the end, we're in the semifinals. Zio Rocco, get ready. You know who's coming. And he's going to make you pay, buddy. He's going to make you pay. Vlahovic, Deuce is on the loose, and he's coming. Guys, that's about as simple as I can wrap this one up and summarize it. Much longer than we would have wanted, whatnot, but ultimately the job's done. It is one of their objectives is to win the Coppa Italia. We are now going to be meeting Fiorentina, and it is what it is. We win, we move on. But I want to ask you guys a few questions about that match, and did we take certain building blocks from it and whatnot. Morata again actually created a pretty decent spark. Locatelli's great. He did a great job when he came in. But one of my questions first, I'm going to ask you guys to summarize just the game in total, and then I want you guys to let me know what you thought of the midfield and how it operated with McKennie having the freedom to move forward, and then Artur and Zakaria. So let's go with that, and let's start with Raph.
So in terms of summary, first half, nice opening few minutes, grab an early lead. Frustration for the rest of the 45 minutes. Come back in the second half, we need a goal. Then that's when sustained pressure, winning the ball high up the pitch, keep hitting them with chances. That's the football we want to see. And like that's what I'm saying, second half was infinitely better than the first half. We didn't control possession as much as possible, but that's not Allegri's game. As long as the chances come, which they did come, one of them is bound to go in, and that's literally all we asked for as fans. We literally just want to see more of what we saw in the second half. Plus or minus a few things, but it'll come with time. Like, this is still a team that needs to be rebuilt. In terms of McKennie as our most advanced midfielder makes the most sense for me right now. He's our best goal threat. He's the best in terms of making late runs into the box. He's good in the air. I like to see him further up the pitch with Zakaria and Locatelli kind of controlling it from slightly deeper. I'm still not one who wants to see Locatelli further forward because we have no controller at the back. So in terms of midfield, that's my opinion.
There you go. Omer, your thoughts?
Look, we did have a lot of great chances, which was pretty rare, like 2-3 weeks ago. We could have won this game 3-4-1 if we buried those chances, because a lot of one-on-ones, a lot of just a great performance by Pegulo. I gotta give him credit. The man was awesome, and he's 40. He's almost the same as Buffon. But let's go back a little to October. Same team, same type of game, 1-1, trying to bury it. We barely made any chances. We lost it in the end. 1 month ago, we don't win this game. 1 month ago, it goes to extra time, or Sassuolo grab the winner. But that's the difference when you have a player that can make a goal out of basically nothing. A player with a ball in that area of the pitch, alone, isolated against 3 defenders, that's not a goal if it lands to any other player on the pitch. But thank God we have Vlahovic, who can make something out of that, who prevented us from playing another 30 minutes. Atalanta also played the same day and lost. Their moral is going to be way down come Sunday. We're on the front foot, and I guarantee you that if we start a game with Danilo and Locatelli and Morata, it would have been ended, I don't know, in the 60th minute. We would have wrapped things up. But that's why you have Coppa Italia and subs for. So in the end, I was happy.
Yeah, there you go. And I mean, that's kind of pretty much it, really. But I mean, I kind of feel with Raph there, because there's nothing stopping this team from doing that from the outset, especially when you have the 1-goal lead. So you have the 1-goal lead. You have that, okay, now we can kill you, and really make you pay. But we allow the teams to play. So every Juventini's concern, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, their concern is what happens when you play the top teams and you continue to want to, be the team that allows them to play and allows them to control. Because ultimately, if you're allowing that, they're going to get their chances. And there were moments there last game where yesterday we could have been made to pay, and might have been made to pay if it was the higher quality teams and guys, right? I mean, if we look at the stats, basically because of the second half, Raph dropped you the first half, but the second half we finished 20 attempts, 10 on goal. Sassuolo still ends up with 16 and 6 and 55% possession. So Juve has 45% possession. I completely agree with Raph that this team needs to be better at not only regaining the possession, but retaining it. But there's been this trend that we've seen with this team where, and this was before the new guys even came, when we let off, we play slow, we are just not effective. So people are talking about, well, we couldn't string passes together in the first half. Well, of course not, because nobody is moving. Everybody is staying so far back. You eventually get the ball to one of your high focal points, and there's absolutely nowhere for them to go. So it's very, very difficult to just say that it's just the players not being able to string the passes together. I think that drive, that hunger to go out and kill is just not there. They're just playing it pretty safe. And this has a lot of fans wondering, is that going to be good enough come Villarreal, come even Atalanta on the weekend and whatnot, and come against top teams? I want to get what you guys think in response to that. So, Omer, you could start us off on this one, then we'll get to Raph.
Okay, look, Sassuolo is not a bad team by any means. They're a great team with great coach who plays beautiful football. Can't understate that. It's not like we played some Serie B club, and that's just the way Sassuolo plays, and I like it. I like their style of play. Look, last season we were worse than we are now. Played Inter 4 times, won 2 of them, drew 1, lost 1. When you come to bigger games, same way that Torino plays against Juve, so they can be the worst team in the league. Suddenly against Juve, they're putting in an extra effort, and I believe that will be the case with us. The only team who completely dominated us and left us dumbfounded were Chelsea this season. The rest were kind of, on the balance, 2-1, 1-0, 0-0. I'm not overly concerned. There's just a different mentality to any player when you go out and play a better team, especially ones that are higher in the rankings. So I'm not concerned. Juve tried to be, not cause any injuries, not put too much pressure in. It didn't work. Then they had to use more pressure. But you can see it's there. You can see that they can do it if they want to. I think the formation was the main reason why players just didn't know where to go and where to stand. McKennie on the left was just not good.
So hold that thought, because we're going to get into that, and we are going to get into that. Raph, what do you think in response to the fans out there that think this isn't good enough for when we play the upper echelon?
I mean, we've seen this with much bigger and better teams that we've had before. So, like, I remember Bayern 2016. We had Morata and Cuadrado cooking them. We take them off, we sit back, we get punished in the last minute, albeit by an error. But when you sit back for as long as you do, it's bound to happen. Real Madrid, we go 3-0 up there. Last minute, Benatia makes a mistake, we get punished. We've seen these things happen before with teams way better than what we have now. So it's and exactly this as well. This season we haven't played too many teams that we can say are like top tier European teams. I feel like if we go into these games, we grab an early goal and we sit back for 90 minutes in the Champions League, it's like we're gonna suffer. It's something I don't want to see happen. We need to take the game to them. We need to be fearless. We're Juventus. We're not some Napoli. We're not some Roma side. We're the biggest club in Italy, man. Look, we need to act like it. I don't want to see us concede the game after taking an early lead or anything like that.
There are moments in matches where you have to bend and not break, but I don't think we need to be making a living out of it. And I think when you're up 1-0 within 5 minutes, you've got to press on it. You don't drop everybody back. You don't go back into this shell. There's no reason to. Every time, this was the most frustrating part about the second half. When we did generate and move forward, whatnot, we gave them all sorts of problems. The only issue was it was way too few and far between. But I'm not putting this on just solely Max or whatnot, because Omer touched on something that we're now going to talk about in relation to players' positioning and even formation, whatnot. But first, before we do that, we are going to give our man of the match. So everybody that's joining us live, want to hear your man of the match. And quick reminder for everybody that's tuning in to this on your audio outlets, get over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, join our live chat. We love having you all in here and getting your opinions. And there are a couple ways to support the pod. Okay. One, of course, we have Super Chat enabled. So if you feel like giving a donation, there you go. You're more welcome. And the other is go to stripedtartsapparel.com and check out what they got cooking. And this is the latest that's available right now that just dropped. That is a thing of beauty. Like that is mint right there. So don't miss out. The Pinturiku tees and hoodies available now. Without further ado, man of the match, sponsored by Striped Tarts Apparel. Let's start with you, Raph. Raph, who's your man of the match?
I'm going to give it to, I want to say, Vlahovic or De Ligt. Vlahovic simply because, he created a second half, he created an amazing opportunity for Morata, which should have been scored, but hey. And then simply just creating the goal out of nothing. Like, people are going to discredit him saying, like the shot was going up for a throw in if it didn't deflect. But like when you push, when you hustle that hard, something's bound to go your way. And ultimately, when it's the match, those are the game changers that we spend 70-something million for. That's why he's our Ronaldo replacement. And if I'm going to make another suggestion, I'd probably say De Ligt. Like, he was everywhere. This guy was playing like a number 10. He created a golden opportunity on the edge of the box for McKennie. Like, this guy was playing, like, he was everywhere. I don't even have to describe it. He's unreal yesterday.
There you go. Omer, your man of the match.
Locatelli. Even though it was a sub, the second he came on the pitch, suddenly everything was much more simple. Suddenly their press wasn't as effective as it was. Suddenly chances came, just banging in. McKennie, De Ligt, Vlahovic, Morata, Dybala, everyone were just felt more comfortable and in position. It was like the anchor, which everyone moved around. He helped with the press and recovering the ball. So he changed the game for Juve, and he's man of the match for me. Shout out to Perrin, who kept us in the match.
Yeah. There you go. For me, it's Dybala. I'm going to give it to Dybala. The early goal. Not really going to credit him with an assist on the second one because Vlahovic did everything on his own. But Dybala did a lot of sacrificing too. He got in. I think he won 8 out of 13 duels, and I saw him as like back into the corners, digging the balls out and whatnot. So he did a lot of work in this one, and he was big. So for me, I'm gonna give it to Dybala. Now, we wanted to talk about positionally some of the things we saw, the midfield, how it operated with McKennie, Artur, Zakaria. It must be said, Artur is on a couple of great, solid showings now. We have a couple rebuttals here. John says, do you think we actually sat back the first half? I don't know. I thought the quality on the ball was pretty poor, so many needless giveaways. Alex P says the exact same thing. They could not string 2 passes together in the first half. They tried to control the game and go forward, but couldn't pull it. But you tried to go forward in a counter-attacking method. There was no pressure to win that ball back and win it back quickly and regain possession. We were very, very pedestrian on that front. So, yeah, we did try to go forward, not in a controlling fashion, in my personal opinion. And again, our line was way too far back. It was way too far back. So that's, I mean, obviously it's going to make regaining possession harder. And then when you have it, again, how many times did we get it up to the top there? There was no options. I saw Vlahovic. He's trying to poke the ball across, and Cuadrado's overrunning it and whatnot because they're just all out of sorts because they're trying to make something out of nothing with 1 or 2 guys because everybody's just far back. That's what I saw anyways. That was my opinion. Raph, did you feel the same?
Yeah, no, I agree. Is that, there's a difference between, when you're sitting back, then once you regain possession, you start from the fundamentals, you build up from the back, you try to control the possession, rather than you're sitting back and straight away you're just trying to counter them. If your game plan at 1-0 up if what you see in terms of attacking is literally just counter attacking, at that point you're sitting back as a team. You're literally sitting, hoping for them to lose the ball and then trying to catch them on the break. And if when you win the ball, you're not trying, sustain possession and build up slowly to make sure that they don't have possession of the ball, for me, you're sitting back. It's not as if this team can't string 2 passes together. Because, second half, that same team that were doing exactly that,
Yeah. Omar, what do you think?
Well, Sassuolo's press was very effective, but I think it comes down, first of all, to formation, which I mentioned. Everyone looked all over the place. And second, just poor individual errors. Bonucci gave away like 4 long balls straight to Sassuolo players in the opening 20 minutes. Almost all of them ended in chances for Sassuolo. That's not a formation problem or an Allegri problem. It's just poor passing by Bonucci. And we can blame everyone around, but at the end of the day, Allegri can't be Bonucci's right leg or Morata's head or Dybala's left leg.
Yeah.
And that's where the misplaced passes came from most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's just, again, it's everybody's personal opinion and how they view and see the matches. But for me, I mean, if you were honestly trying to control the game, then again, like Raph said, you have slow buildup. You allow your players to move forward and then try to work up the ball. We were pumping it over the top. We are pumping it over the top for a while there at the start to Quadrado, to Vlahovic, just to bypass things. And we said this in the last game. There was a lot of Juventini saying we have to stop just pumping it up to them. So that's just why I didn't see it as us necessarily trying to go out and control it. And I saw us more as just sitting back, not being on the press or whatnot. But nonetheless, we got the job done. Let's move on to the midfield because Omer kind of talked about that a bit, and he said, what were your thoughts on McKennie, Arthur, and Zakaria? For me, I'm not sold on McKennie in that position. I think a lot of technical deficiencies were evident, and I think it would be stronger with a true winger. So that's just my opinion, but let's get your guys' thoughts on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That position is mainly saved for Bernardeschi and Chiesa. McKennie playing there is just, an alternative because we've ended up where we are. But you can clearly see, even from the Pirlo days, that even as a left Mezzala, it wasn't the same as on the right. It's just not good at that position. I haven't seen one game where he was, sort of good in that area. He's right midfielder, right Mezzala. On the left, it just doesn't work. But I don't think this is Max's game plan, anyways. It's just a makeshift rotation because no one is available. If Bernardeschi was there, he would have played that position.
Yeah. Raph, what do you think? Same thing, guys, needs a winger?
Yeah, so I have a cough sweet in my mouth out, so just in case, you see something. But anyway. Yeah, no, I think for that, it just depends on the formation that we play. If we're playing a 4-2-3-1, McKennie, I'm not going to really like him on the wing. If we're playing a traditional 3 midfield, of course, I think as a third midfielder, he's our best option there. So in regards to yesterday, him on the left, probably like not the best. Like we all know, this whole midfielder playing on the wing thing isn't the best thing. There, you need someone with some technical ability, someone who'll be able to beat their man. And McKennie, we just know he's not that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way it's got to be. Personally, I mean, I don't know. McKennie is a midfielder, box to box, and I like it that way. When we try to play it that manner off the wing, I mean, it was the same frustrations when we were getting Blaise Matuidi way up the pitch there on the side in 1v1 scenarios. He's not going to do it. Rabiot, countless times. I mean, yes, McKennie has more to the attacking phase, but if he was doing it from in behind and supporting a winger, it could be even more effective, right? So we see that Non Molo has posted on Facebook. Don't worry, we got it. We're going to unlock it all for you on the Twitter, okay? So get over to @AllUVCast if you're not already and be following because we're going to drop that in a little bit here. So midfield, if we're all in agreement that we don't really see McKennie in that role, how do you line this team up? Like, what's your main go-to midfield, Raph?
Right now, I made my own mini lineup on Twitter. I'm not sure if I posted it, but for me, as of now, I feel like our best team is the diamond. But this is just going off the one game that we've seen. But I did like what we saw against who did we play again? Verona, yeah. So for me, I think Locatelli at the base, Zakaria box to box and McKennie as our third midfielder, third man runs into the box, like that goal scoring presence on the edge of the box. And I know people like Locatelli playing high up the pitch. If we sustain possession, we'll see Locatelli just on the edge of the box, dictating play here and there. So that shouldn't be an issue as long as we play as the team that we should be. But that'll be my midfield three for the rest of the season.
Interesting. Omer, what do you think about that midfield? Is it the same as yours, or do you have something different?
Yeah, I think Locatelli, Zakaria, and McKennie is probably the best trio. Where you line them up is a different question. I haven't seen enough of Zakaria as a 6 or of Locatelli as an 8 to, make a proper suggestion. I think Arthur gets a lot of flack. I don't think he's as bad as people make it out to be. He puts in one hell of a shift yesterday working defensively. So he's definitely a shout out. I don't mind him playing as a 6. The amount of time I've seen him play there, he was good. He was okay. He's just our go-to banter guy at the moment.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of at the point where I want to see before I can truly gauge everything. But I want to see Locatelli on the side with Artur at that 6, and
me too. I'm saying I haven't seen
Zakaria on the
enough.
right, or McKennie. I think I see Zakaria and McKennie as that change up on that side. I think I just want to see it before we, get to any point of moving on. We know Locatelli could play anywhere across the middle there, and I'm fine with it. Maybe even I'd like to see, Locatelli as a 6, like Raph was saying, with McKennie on one side and Zakaria on the other. Wouldn't mind seeing that, to be honest. So I think he's got some interesting combinations, and I think we have to also think about the opponents, because he can spread it out differently based on what he expects out of the middle of the pitch, because the games are won and lost in the middle of the pitch, and now he's got a little more physicality. You've got a guy like McKennie who can bring you some of the goals out of there. Locatelli can bring you goals out of there. And Arthur is a nice little escape from the press, Arthur and Locatelli. So he can mix it up based on what he expects out of the opposition and still be good, in my personal opinion. But I think this one, we all kind of agree in the first half, just a little too pedestrian. But other than that, we got the job done. We moved into the Coppa Italia, and now we got to look ahead to Atalanta. We didn't want a lot of these guys getting those minutes, but it is what it is. Kyle Jorge is one of the players, just can't get in. And I feel bad for him because it took us so long to wrap it up, and then he steps into this one again, like no time to do anything. And one of the questions was asked earlier by Antonio, and it was, why do you think that Kyle is just simply not getting minutes from Max? Raph, what's your thoughts?
He's 20 years old.
Max just being Max, basically.
Is the experience part. It literally just comes down to experience. If you don't have experience, Max isn't going to choose you.
Let me ask you this. Would you have started him in this one?
Yeah.
You would have, hey?
On the left over McKennie.
Instead of McKennie.
It would have been a similar formation to what we played on the weekend, but with just the number 9 there, like Morata did instead of McKennie.
Omer, would you have started Kyle Jorge?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I would have either.
No. I kind of, when the news came that he is going to start, I kind of, that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
It's still Sassuolo. But it just, we talked about it. It's so hard to integrate youngsters who don't have a lot of experience under their belt, because we're fighting for everything. That's a one-off game. If we manage to lose this one, no more Coppa Italia.
Yeah.
If we lose the game against Atalanta because we wanted Caio to play, or Sule or Ake or anyone for that matter, then someone else is going to have to pick up the pieces. If we're sitting at the top, 8 points clear, then of course it's easier to integrate youngsters. But when every game matters, you can't take that bet until you know you've won the game.
My question to that though is, like, why, like in the summer, why were we so adamant on competing with Milan to sign him? Why did we pay an early fee when we could have got him for free in January? And then why did we block his exit in January to leave on loan or something? If these are just questions I don't understand.
Yeah, it's legitimate questions. It's obviously Max sees something in him. If he blocked his transfer and the management fought to bring him, they see something that we don't know yet. We can't see it. We're not there every day to experience training and everything. And I'm sure Max talked to him and told him your time will come. Maybe it's better to train with Juve than at some other relegation club. I would have liked to see him play more. It's just the situation that we're in is that I don't think they expected to be fighting for fourth place at that period of the season. And it's kind of the circumstances pretty much damaged to what they were planning for him. But it looks like he's okay with it. He understands it and he knows he'll get his chance when it's possible. And
I think also when you look at blocking the move too, I think maybe Max probably saw what he wanted to do with the entrance of Vlahovic, because I think in our go-tos, it's going to be Dybala, Vlahovic, and Morata. And if that's the case, you would have only had really Keane in behind if Kyle Jorge goes out, right? So maybe that played into the fact, is just to have like another forward around, right? Obviously, Quadrado is another guy that we can have in there in the mix. Bernardeschi, we're still waiting for him to come back. So apparently he's supposed to be back with the group as of today. But maybe it's just simply a depth thing after they added that and how Max wanted to play. I don't really know, but I think there was opportunities earlier on for Kyle, and I would be upset at those situations that he didn't get into it. I don't really take a whole bunch out of him not playing yesterday. And then as far as getting in sooner, it sucked because we couldn't put it away earlier, and we should have, and then he would have got a healthy dose of minutes, I think. But it's an unfortunate scenario. I think the moments kind of passed for the opportunities that Max had to play him, and now we'll see. Depending how the first leg goes against Fiorentina, if Vlahovic sticks it to Rocco in the first one, maybe the second one you can ease up a bit, and maybe Kyle can get a healthy dose, right? It is one of their objectives. That was very, very evident from how Max approached that game yesterday against Sassuolo. We're going for the Coppa Italia. In terms of Scudetto and everything like that, well, look no further than Del Piero. Del Piero had a decent little interview being asked about Juventus as a late, and he says, as far as the Scudetto goes, he goes, hey, there's nothing stopping this Juve now from winning 6 or 7 games in a row, and these guys drop points. Anything can happen, right? He also spoke to Vlahovic, and he said he would not have picked the number 7, but he said Vlahovic has no fear, and he invites all of that, and he is creating energy and excitement in all of his moves and everything he does. Massive. And we talked about this, and I talked about it when he was coming in. I mean, we couldn't believe it. I honestly didn't peg us for getting Vlahovic, not in the summer, definitely not in January, but bringing him on, absolutely massive. He is a different breed. What do you guys think about, Del Piero's words? And more so speaking to the Scudetto race, I feel like us Juventini have all just this, we've all been reignited in terms of buying into this campaign now and going down the stretch here. And it's going to be interesting. I called it before we even had that January Mercado that Juve is going to make things interesting, because I truly believed we were better than what we were seeing. But now you got a guy that can make something out of nothing and is an absolute unit from what he's showing. Anything can happen. Raph, how you feeling?
Well, it's very wishful thinking to say, yo, the Scudetto race is on. But genuinely speaking, if we can get over Atalanta on the weekend, we have a pretty decent run where we can get quite a few results. And also, Napoli and Inter are playing this weekend, which can be huge. Like whichever way the result goes is huge for us in terms of what we want. So I don't disagree with Del Piero. I think if we get a nice little run going, eventually it can become a genuine target. As of now, we're still like a good 8 points behind, I think. So it's like we still have ground to cover, but nothing is impossible. And I'm full of confidence now that we have Vlahovic, Zakaria, Allegri has his men that he's wanted. He handpicked those two players. Sorry. So I feel like now we have a decent enough squad to make some noise.
Yeah, absolutely. Omar, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with Raph on this one, and with you. Just yesterday we saw that we have a bench, we have players to turn to when we can break our opponents. Look, out of all the top teams, the top four, we have the easiest schedule. Inter had a lot of luck so far this season with injuries and COVID. They basically had to deal with none of them. Now it's kind of shifting. Now they start having injuries. Bastoni is out. Barella is out for the 2 games in the Champions League. And the tiredness is starting to show on them. And that's the crunch time of the season. And we are sort of in a good spot. I'm pretty confident. Like, I don't know if I would say Scudetto race is on, but let's wait 1 more month. Let Inter play Liverpool, Napoli play Barcelona. They need to play each other. I think Napoli still needs to play Milan. We after Sunday, we only have Inter on April 1st. The rest is pretty normal and easy schedule. We can make some noise. Obviously, we depend on the other team's result, but everyone is feeling the pressure now. And welcome to the big boys league, Inter, Milan, Napoli, where you have to compete on 3 fronts. Let's you
Yeah.
deal with that. We've been doing that for a decade.
There you go. There you go. I mean, I like it. I like it because we kept that striking distance, and now we've got a killer up top, and things can happen. We can make things very, very interesting. We are gonna start taking questions for Storm the Barn. Okay, everybody. So now's your chance to get the questions you want. I'm gonna try my best to give you some of the news, just some of it from Non Molo, and we can discuss it. So I'll try to keep an eye out for your questions that are coming in. So he kicks off with Kessier and saying some time ago that he wrote that Kessier was the first name made by Allegri with Zaccaria. And as far as he knows, you can cross it out. He's going to go to Paris or Conte, is what Nomolo says in terms of Kessier, okay? Romagnoli, he says he has no news different from what he's already reported, okay? Basically it's expiring, whatever. There's always talks with Romagnoli and Juventus. When he goes to De Ligt, he can report the news that negotiations have begun for the renewal. There you go. Big bomb from Non Molo today on De Ligt. So negotiations have begun, and it's with the staff, Mino Raio's staff, and that's because Mino is not doing so well right now. So it's going to take a while, but he says they're already negotiating 2-year extension, same salary, fixed, 8 million. The bonuses will change. So just makes it, making them easier to reach is basically the only changes that are going to happen, but it's going to be an additional 2 years. Massive news. And something we were all keeping eyes on and wanted to see. Thoughts on this, guys?
Yeah, that's a great way to make that happen, because I was always thinking, like, if they're fighting with Dybala so much on 1 million here, 1 million there, then they can settle for 7 million for Dybala and then offer the league 10 million a season. There has to be some balance. They just can't do it. But this looks like a good option. Improvement in bonuses. It looks like the league is enjoying life.
That was the big question, is how are they going to do this financially? Because usually with extensions, the pay grade goes up, but that's genius. You get an extra 2 years, lock them in, and just make those bonuses more accessible and easier to hit. Genius. Raph,
The one
genius
thing,
move.
the one thing I was saying about the De Ligt renewal is that this, like, for us, I feel like it's perfect, because from everything I'm reading, it genuinely sounds like De Ligt loves Turin. He loves the club. And I feel like adding 2 years to his contract gives us 2 years to literally just get our shit together, rebuild this squad. If by this time in 2024, we're favorites for the league, genuine Champions League contenders, I don't see any other team that would prize him away from us unless they offer him a ridiculous salary and he's just like, you know what, I'm gonna just be greedy. I feel like this this renewal gives us 2 years to get our shit together, prove to the league that we're gonna be contending and we want you to be our future, like we've been saying for the past few years. And if by then we haven't got our shit together, the league's gonna rightly leave, because he's gonna want to compete. and then we'll still get a nice sum of money out of it. So I feel like it's perfect in all sense. And this literally just comes down to, okay, now it's up to us to make sure he stays at the club and he wants to stay by just proving that, we're going to compete.
Yeah. And then again, the massive thing about this is that it also re-solidifies the fact that we went from a team before this January window that looked like it was going to take a couple mercados, couple summers to really get into this, contender mode and build a solid team. We're one strong summer away, if they get this renewal, from actually being able to compete on all three fronts, like legitimately, and actually be considered again one of those clubs in the mix there. So this is massive stuff. This management is dialed in right now. Something we talked about in the green room before we actually came on. Raph was just saying it's finally all starting to make sense, right? And the moves they're doing, like, it's not so much opportunities, it's the guys they want. Even when you hear that Kessié and Zakaria were the two names, that Allegri went out. Well, we went out and got one of his two names. Vlahovic was our guy. We went out and got Vlahovic. We didn't settle for an Icardi move or anything like that. It was like, we're going out, we're getting our guys. And now we're looking at extending De Ligt. Like, it's all coming together. And man, it's interesting. We remember what Agnelli did after, in 2011-12 for that decade and whatnot, and not getting that 10. They're on fire right now. They're on absolute fire right now. And there was a lot of doubters in Agnelli and saying that he should change, and a lot of hate towards Nedved. They're still part of this group, and this group's dialed right now. So this management right now, I love it. Arriva Bene and Cherubini, massive props, you guys. Massive props. Arriva Bene is just a G, man. He's unreal. Like, I love that guy. I love Arriva Bene. Now, Dybala. So, Nonmolo doesn't change anything that he said in terms of Dybala, okay? He said there was 8 million plus 2 million in bonuses. When it came time to put pen to paper, he stresses the agent wanted to add signing bonuses. That left a sour taste in Juve's mouth, naturally, as it would, because you're ready to finalize everything. So then you have Arriva Bene's quotes and so on and so on. The offer has substantially not changed, is what Nonmolo's saying, okay? So Juve ask it be changed because of Dybala's agent. So now they're going from 8 plus 2 without Antun. So they're essentially leaving it in the hands of Dybala. That's a power move from the club. They're saying, look, you want your 8 million plus 2? We'll give it to you. He's not your agent. If he remains their agent, they drop it to 7 plus 2, which is still fine, whatnot. But the ball is at Dybala's feet on this one, is what Nonmolo says. Then he says he seems to be much more inclined, the player that is, to a soothing act of love. Okay. And he still only has Juve on his mind. That's what Nonmolo says about the Dybala scenario. So interesting stuff. He doesn't change anything. It's all the same. It was the agent that they're upset with. And it's basically a decision for Paulo to make on if he wants his full pay and walk away from Antun, or if he's going to stay with him and take the cut. But one way or another, it looks like Dybala wants to stay, and it looks like Nonmolo just repeats he only wants to be at Juve. Big stuff. I love that. Personally, your guys' thoughts on this?
That, like, the whole Dybala situation, I'm glad we finally have some clarity over it, because for months it was, is it the management's fault that they don't want to renew him? Is it Dybala's fault that he doesn't want to stay, or he's asking for too much? This clears up everything, especially with the quotes Arriva Bene put out earlier in the season. And like, even me, I was stressing, and I was like, yo, this guy is so stupid. Like, because I thought as well his quotes are about De Ligt and Raiola. I'm like, yo, De Ligt has done literally nothing. I don't know why you'd single him out. But this brings so much clarity to everything, and I'm very happy that they've dealt with it this way. It's that, yo, like, you're not gonna take us for a joke. Everything was agreed. Suddenly you're gonna come and ask for more money out of nowhere. It's like, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna give you the salary that we've put out, with or without your agents. Take this. If it's with your agents, we're just gonna offer you less, and then do whatever, whatever they need to do. I don't know if they're going to still give the bonuses to him, but take that away from Dybala's contract. I'm not sure. But this is so, like, it's perfectly handled by the club. And as he said, it's all in Dybala's hands now. So it's genuinely up to him now to prove how much he loves the club, or if he loves his agent more than the club. It's amazing. And
Absolutely.
I see in the chat right now, someone says Raph owes an apology to Hadiba Bennett. Yo, 101%. Like, I'll take it on the chin.
There you go.
I'll take it on the chin.
There you go. Omer, thoughts on the Dybala?
I'm super happy with what the club has chosen to do. You can't let agents run the transfer market. It's between players and clubs. Agents are just the middleman to make everything tick together. And I'm happy with what Bennett said. Yeah, he basically said we're not going to run the club bankrupt just to fulfill the fans' fantasies. It's a business that has to be managed financially, especially now. And no agent or player is going to make us go bankrupt just because the fans want to see him in a Juve shirt. If Dybala wants to be here, then come out straight and say to our face, I want to be here. Let's make that happen. If you're deciding between your agent, who will drop you the second you don't worth any money to him, instead of the club that has put faith in you since ever you were a youngster and invested 40 million in your transfer, if you want to throw all that away for an agent, then fine. Okay, we get it. You can leave. But if you want to be part of this club, you're not going to run us bankrupt just to satisfy your agent's desires financially.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, power move. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, Nomolo has so much going on. We're just going to pick a couple more snippets here. Cuadrado has much more expensive offers from like Saudi Arabia or whatnot. He's still in negotiation with us. Now, the distance that Nomolo was aware of is Juve offered 1 year plus 1. So option, whatever, for a second. Cuadrado requested 3 years. 2 years locked with 1 option. He is at 5 million net, which is 3.5 million plus bonuses. He asked for 4 fixed. Now, it's also in his hands, Nomolo says. This is up to Cuadrado to show a sign of faith to the club because he's going to have to sacrifice if he wants to stay. Now, a question to you guys. 2 years with 1 option. Do you take that on Cuadrado?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay. Raph?
I'm in the same boat. I think personally, because I love him, I'd love to just see him retire here. You know, he's a cult hero. Like he's so loved by the fans, especially in Torino. So yeah, I'd like to see him renew. Yeah. But again, also, you know what? It's the end of his career. So if he wants to go and earn some bucks before he retires, like by all means, man, go ahead.
You understand.
You've been a great servant to the club, man. There's nothing else to.
I don't think I'm terribly bothered by 2 plus 1, but I don't know. I'd much rather prefer 1 with an option for 1 rather than 2, especially a fixed 4 million. The 3.5 with some bonuses to achieve is a little bit nicer, a little cleaner, but that wouldn't be the end of the world. I'd be fine with it if we ended up doing it. Deschilio has offers from Spain. It is not true that he is at an advanced stage with Juventus. Given that from the 2.5 million he's earning, Juventus has offered him 1.5 million plus 1 in bonuses for 2 years, plus an exercisable club option. Thoughts on that one? And would you pull the trigger?
No.
So Raph says no. Omer, would you pull the trigger on that deal?
You asked me the same question yesterday, and my answer just changes every game that goes on. Probably no, but only if there's some alternative lined up for the same role.
Yeah.
We have a few.
Yeah, we have a few. If anything materializes, then yeah, all good. Deschilio, you can leave. If nothing happens, then we're back to square one with fullbacks because Sandra is also leaving.
I think if Juve, it really depends on how concrete some of these other things are, right? Windal, Nomolo says, I see that his name is finally coming out in the papers, but you already knew it. And he puts a wink there because if you follow Nomolo, he's been saying Windal for a while. There's already negotiation with the club he belongs to. So there you have it. Windal, look for Windal. He talks about so much too. Ranocchia, Miretti, Sule. There will be no sales. Okay, no sales on those guys. Nomolo is saying. So everybody,
No,
keep tabs
I
on
think
that.
he said there'll be no sales without
With
option.
lots
They're
of
asking
control.
for it.
Yeah. So essentially, they're not going to sell these guys. If
Oh,
there's
yeah,
any moves,
yeah.
Juve remains like they're retaining these guys. So that's a big one to watch for. Bremer. Nomolo does not believe one bit that Juve bought Gatti to take him away from Torino to use as a bargaining chip for Bremer. He says Bremer is going to go to Inter or Milan only if they don't end up taking Botman. So there you have it. Gatti was a Juve guy and target. So there you have it. We broke down. There's so much more. So get over to the Twitter, okay, everybody, at AllJuveCast, and you can follow all the Nomolo files. There's always so much to dissect when Nomolo drops these novels on Facebook. Last time we did an entire episode, Anthony and I just dissecting all the stuff he gives us, but it's fantastic stuff.
Me
Omer.
too. I was there too.
Yeah,
So that's
Omer was there
Nomolo.
too. It was fantastic. I mean, he gives us so much, and a massive credit to Raph, who takes all the time to break it down for all you guys. We've got our handles here. We got the entire team's Twitter handles in the description to the video. So follow everybody, okay? Show some love, and we'll go from there. Real quick, everybody that's here right now, like the video. Storm the barn. Storm the barn. I'm still waiting for some questions. We had a few earlier that we're going to go back. Cliff's got one in here, and he says, a little premature, but for next season, will Juve have gone from the weakest midfield to the deepest in one season in terms of Serie A? We'd have Luca, Zach, McKennie, Arthur, and Rovella. Rovella Hive. Always well and alive.
We
Rovella
here.
Hive. Are we going to be... Are we the weakest? Were we the weakest?
I think in the top 4, in terms of the clubs that are competing, I'd say yeah.
You'd say we were the weakest out of all the top 4. I'd probably have to agree, but yeah, it's tough. Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know. It's so weird. I feel like we're not doing our guys any favors in how they've been used, whatnot. But yeah, we're probably the weakest midfield. We're probably the weakest midfield. Will we be the deepest in a season? I think we'll be pretty damn strong. I think there's still a big name, and everybody's still saying there's a big midfielder that's going to join this club. So
this is excluding the targets that Agresti and Nomolo have been saying that 101% we are going to sign a name.
Yeah.
So that's excluding our star.
So that's not even factored into this. I think you easily become one of the strongest, not the strongest, I think, but you definitely, that's a big jump from one season to the next. And we still got to wait for this summer, guys. It's going to be interesting to see who they bring in. Anthony, 14 games left. Besides Atalanta and Inter, we don't play a team in the top 5. How do we finish in those 12 games?
Look, it's hard to make a judgment on it because it depends on a lot of things. But so let's go just month by month. I call this month 6 out of 6. So far, we're 2 out of 6. So I'm on the right track. The rest of the 14 games, it depends on how far we go into Champions League, how will the Coppa affect us, injuries, red cards. It's down to,
how do we finish in those 12 games? Let's go. Throw something out there.
I'd say 9 out of 12 are wins.
Raph.
My blind optimism is saying because we've come out of the January period having played Roma, Milan, Napoli, and Inter with one loss in the 120th minutes. Other than that, we held our own without our star players. If we can get over Atalanta this weekend, or even if we don't, I feel like we're looking at a nice a nice run. I'm confident. It's my blind optimism speaking, but I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna say, yo, I'm feeling a good 10 or so wins here, man.
10 or so.
That game against Inter is going to be super important.
Mm-hmm.
All
A
I'm going to
win
say is
there.
in those final 12, Juve won't suffer defeat. That's all I'm going to say.
I like that.
They will not suffer a defeat in those final 12 games. You heard it here. Write it down, everybody. They won't suffer defeat in the final 12. I'll give you that one. Hope Anthony liked that answer because he called Omer the lawyer here with all the facts there. That's amazing.
No, I just don't want to get ahead of myself. One game at a time. It's a cliche, but it's right. If we start thinking about Inter when we play Sassuolo.
Hey, Omer, you don't have to explain. I used to do the same thing, but Anthony used to always give me the gears and just say, just answer the damn question. Just answer the damn question.
I gave you an answer,
Anthony. Okay, well, let's let Omar be diplomatic there, and I gave you that.
By the way, my answer is for all those people who follow me who think I hate Allegri because I criticize him. That is the furthest thing from the truth. I need to say this now because some people,
Raph, do you remember how you and I met?
Yeah.
It was when all the heat went out on Allegri in, Allegri out. And I was seen as the Allegri hater and whatnot. And I said, Raph, you are like one of the biggest Allegri supporters. I said, join me on a podcast. And you came on and we hashed it out. We had an awesome chat. So if anybody's saying Raph doesn't like Allegri, you have no idea. Like that one's in the archives of the podcast on what a huge Allegri supporter Raph actually is.
I remember that. I was in Turin when we had that call. I was in the living room. I was heated. I was like, let me defend my man.
Yeah. It was getting crazy out there. You had a Juve civil war on social media for the pro Allegri and the non Allegris. It was crazy. Antonio, what do you guys see as very possible central defense options and midfield options come 2022, 2023? I don't know if you consider Zaniolo a midfield option, but Nonmolo even touched on that Juve is going after this guy. I don't know. He also said not to expect Milinkovic-Savic. Gravenberch seems to be the name that everybody's putting out and really heavy links. I would say expect Gravenberch. I think Rovella joins this team next season, no doubt.
Fagioli too, I'm hearing, apparently.
So I think that in terms of the defense, I've been expecting and been ready for Romagnoli for a while with that contract coming up. I think that's going to be the guy. What do you guys? And also, I guess now we have to talk about, is there a shop for Gatti next season? Like, is there an opening? Think he
100%.
makes that jump? What do you guys think? So let's hear from you guys.
Yeah, Raph, go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Sure. In terms of numbers, I feel like Chiellini and Bonucci set to stay. I feel like the way Rugani is going, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays. Gatti, I feel like he's going to come into the fold. Apparently, the first thing Chiellini said to him when he came for his medical visits was, yo, this is my heir. So I feel like those words coming from Chiellini himself is like, I'm pretty sure the captain of the clubs had a conversation with the management and everything. And I feel like he's definitely going to have a place in the squad. And again, he's only 20. He's only 23. He has time to develop. I feel like we're definitely going to be seeing him. Maybe an extra centre-back signing for depth here and there. I'm not sure. I feel like Demiral is going to be sold, so maybe we replace him there. In the midfield, I'm hearing Pogba, but wages, age doesn't make sense. Gravenberch makes sense because of the Raiola connection, and he's also a very similar player to Pogba. De Jong as well as a name floating around. I feel like that will just all depend on what Barcelona decide to do with him. With the remaining few months of the season. Apparently Xavi's not the biggest fan, but they're going to evaluate him. So I feel like we could have a pretty decent squad. Also remembering Rovella and Fagioli will be coming back as well, which will be amazing, like amazing boosts to the team. So I'm feeling pretty happy about like what I'm seeing this season already.
Al, you're muted.
I thought you said I was muted. I was going to be saying there's no way I've been
No,
spending
I was
more
gonna say,
time without people.
Do you
hearing
think
me.
Fagioli's going to be a part of Juve next season?
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
I actually
think-
don't. I don't believe he is. I don't
I
believe he
think
is.
I
I think
think
Rovella will be the one we
Nonmola's-
call in, and I think expect Fagioli to go to a Serie A team. Omer, what do you think in terms of options, midfield and defensively? Before we get into a couple other questions.
Look, Gatti, I think he'll be at Juve next season, and I hear a lot of talks about, he's only played in Serie B. He's the best player in Serie B. So was Verratti, and he just never played in Serie A. He went straight to Paris, but it doesn't mean that the level is low, and if you're a good player there, you're good enough for a Serie A club. Rotational for Juventus, always an option. I I haven't seen too many names linked up to the defense going around, so I don't know who you were going for. Midfield, I think it will be between Gravenberch, De Jong, and Yuri Tielemans. Pogba just doesn't suit the current way that the management has taken with the low salaries. And he's a bit of a fantasy, I believe, at this moment. Savic is way too expensive. Zaniolo is more of an attacker. I think we'll see De Jong. Fagioli will go on another loan. I believe. I have no idea
Yeah.
information. And we still have to get rid of some. Rabiot, Ramsey still needs to come back and shipped out.
Alex P is killing me. He's just killing me
Yeah.
today. He's just killing me today. Raph's got the gun pointed. He's got the gun holstered here. What's going on?
Yeah, this is from Nonmola's February 1st update. He said that the midfield will integrate at least 2 young players, and in his mind, he feels like it will be Fagioli and Rovella. And let's not forget that Rovella's a player that can genuinely play all roles in the midfield. So he could even be a number 10 replacement for Dybala, because that's where he used to play in the academy. He can play that role as well.
I have no problem with these guys coming back. I just want to know that they're going to get some playing time. If we bring back Fagioli and he rots on the bench or goes back to the U23, then there's no point to it. If we sell Rabiot, Ramsey, and he does get his chances, I'm all for it. I love homegrown players, Italians. We're going back to an Italian core. A lot of players just going around the league and prefer to come to us. I'm all for it.
And Allegri's been a fan of his since he was like 16. Like it's not been a
Fagioli
a
is
secret.
already better than the majority of our midfield. It's hard to gauge when one's playing in Serie B though. Like
how many Serie B's games have you watched this season of Fagioli?
yeah,
Oh,
I
me?
need to see. I need to see.
I watch a lot.
No,
I'll
not
be
you.
honest.
I need to see
No,
the
not you.
Serie
I know you
the
watched
Serie
it.
A stuff. I need to see that. That's why, we were pushing so hard for Rovella as he had the year at Genoa. He looked good. He's into the game. He's in the mix. He's putting down good performances. That's why I see that as an easy transition. But for Fagioli to even that's a bold statement, Louis. But hey, respect. We like bold statements. But no, that's really good. If anybody's got, we'll probably pull like one more question if anybody has in the live. Again, quick reminder to everybody, thank you so much for the support. Okay, had some technical issues. I feel awful today, but we're not going to let anything stop us from bringing you everything Juve all the time. Okay, subscribe to the channel. We love the support. We're pushing for 2K. We're almost at 5K on Twitter. Okay, and there's going to be giveaways. Oh, giveaways. That reminds me of something.
Oh damn. That's today.
Yes.
Man, I feel like I had to do something like a few days ago, maybe a week ago, and I like never got around to doing it, but I just can't remember what the heck was it?
Anthony knows. Anthony can take a break from feeding pigeons at the park to help you.
Man, I feel like we had to give something away. Oh,
Please.
yeah. The Serbian bomber, Vlahovic. That's right. So I said, there's no way Juve swings Vlahovic. Not only was I wrong, I was terribly wrong because they did it in January. So, number one, in these scenarios, I love being wrong. Okay. But promised we would give a jersey away. Now, we took, name from the Twitch following, from the Instagram following, and then, of course, YouTube and whatnot, and Twitter. And it was generated. And we have a winner for the Vlahovic kit. I'm going to take another question from Storm the Barn, and then we'll announce it. No, I'm kidding. I won't do that to you guys. Okay? I won't do that to you guys. So, without further ado, this is your handle. You are the winner. At Jordan Brenner, congrats. You have won the Vlahovic kit. Okay? So at Jordan Brenner, get in touch. DM us on anything, Instagram, Twitter, whatnot. You have won the Vlahovic kit. All right? Congratulations. Everybody else, don't worry about it. We have another giveaway coming. We have another Vlahovic kit to give away. What are we waiting for? 2K on YouTube. So start liking all the videos. Share the content with absolutely everybody. Let's continue to grow this channel, okay? And once we have 5K, I think we're less than 50 away on Twitter. 5K on Twitter, 2K on YouTube. I got another Vlahovic kit that I'm going to be giving away. Congrats to Jordan, okay? Look at all these Storm the Barns all of a sudden. Thoughts on Sirigu in for Perrin? I would rather keep Perrin, but I think Perrin's going to leave. Fine with Sirigu as a number 2. Number 2 is not an issue. After next season, Tech will be gone, and then we need an actual 1. That's my quick thoughts.
GGO.
There you go, GGO. Omer, thoughts on that quick?
Perrin for me, but Sirigu is fine. Pinsolio. I want Pinsolio to be our second goalkeeper.
Dude, Pinsolio, he's got the 3rd on lockdown, and he's happy. He's got 3rd on lockdown. We don't need to create more issues. So he's comfortable. He's happy.
Second one.
We need to do that. KM saying, yeah, I'm not leaving unless you tell me why Pellegrini ain't playing. I have no answers for you because what I saw yesterday, a sloth could dribble Sandro. So I really don't know, to be 100% honest with you. Maybe he just wanted Pellegrini for Atalanta. You accept that, KM? Hopefully. What do you guys think?
We hope.
Yeah. You see this orange?
Answers.
You see this orange? He would have had a better performance yesterday. But it is what it is. We have the same information you guys have. We don't know anything besides what's being told on Twitter. So we have no answer. Pellegrini is the obvious.
I have an answer.
Let's go.
Sandro is older. It's that simple. We need to remember who our coach is.
Look, I do understand that
Sandro has
a Coppa match. If Sandro plays in that match, that means he doesn't play on Sunday, which means he's a rotational player now and he's not a guaranteed starter.
There was talks about this. Israel being promoted to the first team, which I'm actually fine with that. Storm the Barn, Harry Maguire, who says no? Everybody.
Me.
Everybody says no. Oh man, this was amazing. But guys, had a lot of fun. Again, one last reminder: this is your handle. Congrats. Reach out. Got yourself a Vlahovic kit coming. Everybody else, don't worry. We got more. We got plenty more to give away too. Okay, so stay tuned, guys. Had a blast recapping the Coppa Italia. We're in the semifinals. Big match coming up this weekend, and we are all ready for it at All Juve Cast. Okay, match day live on game day, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Come join us. Okay, there may or may not be a watch along again, so stay tuned for that. We'll try our best to bring you that. And then, of course, another post-match podcast. Let's go as we continue to try and make some serious noise in Serie A. And we've got the killer up front now that's given us all the faith that he can make something out of nothing. Let's see what goes down. Okay, let's keep it going. Guys, you want to give any final thoughts as we finish this up and how you feel about Juve going into this Atalanta match? And if you want to make a call now, stage is yours. Let's go. Omer.
I call a win against Atalanta. We're on the upward trends. We're there, baby. We're there.
Let's go. Let's go, Raph.
I feel like it's going to be a statement weekend. My blind optimism is speaking.
Yes.
Clean sheet, 2
Oh,
goals.
yes.
We're gonna tuck them in, man. Revenge. We're gonna get revenge for early in the season.
We're on the rise, baby. We're on the rise, okay? Juve starting to make serious waves, okay? And again, Omer touched on it beautifully in this episode. Everybody ahead of us has to think about Juve now, okay? And we continue to climb. It starts this weekend. Big statement match. I have faith the guys go out and get it done. I honestly don't even care how they get it done. No excuses. Go out there, win the match, and let's move on. Fantastic point. No Zapata, no Musso. Let's go. Nothing
They've
else
lost
but a win.
Gozens.
What's that, Raph?
They've lost Gozens.
Yes.
He's not even.
Gosens gone. They are ripe for the picking, and we're just going to go right through them and continue to march on, all right? And don't forget what I called for the last 12 games. We don't play anybody outside top 5. Juve will not suffer a defeat from there on out. Let's go, everybody. Let's go. Enjoy the rest of your Fridays. Okay, thank you all for joining. Take a quick second if you haven't already to like the video. Ciao tutti. We love the support. We'll talk to you all on the weekend as we get ready for Juve Atalanta. Don't forget to check out the Non Molo files on Twitter, okay? All our handles in the description. Let's go. Don't forget, show some love to Striped Hearts. Look at this thing. Come on, let's go. Fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.